What are you doing, step bro?
Oh my god, that's how we're starting it. Well, with that, welcome to episode one, the pilot episode of the Degenerate Book Club.
Alright, I am Dr. Sage. I'm here today with the third, and we are going to be discussing, well,
We're going to
some
be discussing,
degeneracy.
alright?
We're going to be discussing some degeneracy, okay? So we are basically a terrible trash taste knockoff. Um, and like any terrible knockoff, we're just trying to be edgier and more shocking. So, for our pilot episode, we are going to be discussing Domestic Girlfriend and Citrus, two manga that are about, well, what are you doing, step bro?
What are you doing?
Or in the case of Citrus, what are you doing, step sis?
Nothing much. Just hitting on my stepsis. Oh my god.
I mean,
Alright,
that's kind of the story.
that is indeed the story.
So, where do we start with these just delightful manga? I
Yeah,
feel
how do we
like,
start? You want to give a synopsis
alright,
of.
so do we start with Domestic Girlfriend?
We start with Domestic Girlfriend.
Okay, so the basic synopsis is you've got this guy, right? Natsuo. And
Okay.
Natsuo, he's in love with a teacher, Hina. Um but you know, she's being sort of professional and it's just like nah, I'm not going for this, I'm not going for this. So he ends up going to this mixer, which is like a group date in Japan. And he meets this girl named Rui, and she just wants to fuck. Like no reason. She's just like, yeah, I just want to fuck. My place. And he's like, okay. Um, so they fuck, and then the next day he finds out that his dad is getting remarried, and turns out his stepsister is going to, or his stepsisters are going to be his teacher and the girl he just slept with, and that's basically the beginning of Dom Kana.
There's also rundown of. Is that like half of episode one? Or is that all of episode one?
That's like most of episode one.
Yeah, man. Like
Um,
that's every synopsis of Dom Kano is it's always
yeah.
sex with Rui, and then his
I
father
mean,
remarries.
it's a 300 chapter manga, so it goes many places from there. Some some shocking places and some actually quite emotionally investing places. But yeah, that's kind of where we start off.
And when we're doing a compare and contrast with Citrus, and oh
Yeah,
boy, is Citrus something.
Citrus is something. I don't think it's as spicy as Dom Kano, to be honest with
No,
you.
no. I
Yeah, I
think
don't
it
know. It's
has
weird.
parts where it's like been in Citrus that just make you go, the fuck?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, both of them have a massive cast of characters that just kind of get added seemingly at random. But because Citrus is so much shorter than Dom Kano, only about 40 chapters to Dom Kano's, what, 300 or so?
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of like Whiplash when a new character is introduced. It's like, am I supposed to care about them? Am I not? What's going on here?
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but yeah, so the basic premise is got this girl named Yuzu. Her mum gets remarried, and she's moving, so she goes to a new all-girls school, and there's this student council president who she does not get along well with. Um, anyway, lo and behold, she ends up being her new stepsister, because of course, and decides that on their first night living together, she wants to put. Oh, by the way, the student council president's name is May. May decides that she wants her tongue to be somewhere lodged in Yuzu's throat, and that's kind of where we go from there.
All right. Well, that is a description of Citrus for sure. That is definitely a description of Citrus. Now, I think now we can see that there's a trend going on between these two series.
Yeah, a big trend,
A
and there's
huge trend.
a huge trend. Almost makes you think that might have been why we chose these two for our first episode. Almost, but
Almost,
not quite.
almost. The remarriage, right? All about the remarriage.
Yeah, absolutely. We love seeing people, later on in life finding love after losing their first love, and just, really just grabbing life by the scruff of its neck and taking it on a ride. We love to see that because here at Degenerate Book Club, we love love of all types.
So Dr. Sage here has a 40-page long
40
notes
pages.
regarding to Citrus and Dom Conal.
Yeah.
How about we start with that?
Okay.
How the hell you got to 40 pages? Oh, Jesus Christ. Is this all just the anime?
Yeah. Which it's been a while since I've read I reread Citrus fairly recently, but it's been about a year since I've read Dom Kana, so I was like, I wanted to refresh my memory. So I started watching the anime, the dub even, because I wanted to take notes while watching it, and I didn't want to be, constantly checking the subtitles to make sure I got something wrong or right. So I rewatched it, or I watched it rather. And I took notes along the way, and quite a lot of them actually. Rather a lot of notes.
So now the first note catches my interest. They just ruffle.
Yes. Because that is literally the first thing you see in the anime of Dom Kano.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is literally the first thing that happens in the anime.
So it's just kind of a cold open. Honestly, both shows are cold opens. And both manga, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But
yeah.
They kind of. I think Dom Kano opens where it means to go from there. It's like this is about love and sex and just having a goofy old time, and that's kind of what we get from the opening of Dom Kano episode 1 or from volume chapter 1.
It is.
You're signing up for something that does not care much about decency or being something you'd want to watch around your parents.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And similarly, Citrus does fall in line with episode 1, except it doesn't have as big of a banger opening.
No, the opening of Citrus is more kind of you kind of get a sense for who Yuzu is, or who she thinks she is. I think it would be better to say, kind of this playgirl, going from guy to guy kind of character, which she isn't. But that's how she thinks of herself and how she kind of presents herself or wants to be.
It's a very Gyaru aesthetic that she runs with.
And if you go through my notes on Citrus, I think we're just going to be jumping around, to be honest with you. But if you go through my notes, you can see throughout the entire time I'm going over how she's not really what she looks like. Her character is actually just kind of a sweetheart. She's very innocent, very, I don't know, naive.
I guess so. Yeah, she is for sure very innocent and naive, but she also keeps trying to uphold this image of her as this, how to say,
she's trying to pretend that she's more of a degenerate than she actually is, really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes her relationship with May so interesting, because May is almost the opposite. She's this very stern, conservative figure on the outside, but behind closed doors, as said before, she likes to place her tongue somewhere deep down Yuzu's throat. Often. And I think that makes for an interesting contrast between the two characters. I think Yuzu and Natsuo are probably actually a good place to start.
You want to go into their character?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because Yuzu is described, she presents herself as this kind of alpha, Gyaru, kind of playgirl character, while Natsuo's this more somber character, I guess. He's more quiet. He seems more introspective. I don't think he is, but he
Yes.
seems more introspective.
Does he fall under
And
that trope of male character
yeah,
that just gets bitches?
in some ways, but I think there's more to him than that. The anime definitely doesn't do justice as a character because the anime is dog shit. But like a lot of his interactions with Hina in the anime and in the manga, obviously, um, show that he's more observant than he appears. And I think a very good example is with Momo.
Hmm.
When he notices that she
The
has
cuts?
scars, yeah,
Yeah.
cuts, and I mean, I think he does the right thing. He does the thing that all of us wish we would do in that situation. And he's like, no, I'm going to make you some food. We're going to eat together because you haven't eaten with anyone in God knows how long, and your only kind of interactions with other people are, simple sexual flings. And I think so. In cases like that, that's not really dense. That's pretty high emotional intelligence.
It is. It is. It is for sure. That shows a lot about Natsuo's character, I guess, in a sense.
I don't think he's as contrasting between his public persona and how he acts behind closed doors as Yuzu. But
Hmm.
I I think he can come across as just kind of a dense, generic anime protagonist from the outside, whereas behind closed doors he actually does have some kind of He's not that kind of character. He has emotional intelligence. He knows how other people feel in different situations and that kind of thing.
Yeah. That also has to remind us that he also wants to be a writer. So he should, and being quite a successful one, he does have that aspect of him that can be observant and take in things from his surrounding. Although the stuff he does throughout the series, I don't think it represents it that well, as smart as he probably is.
I mean, I'm trying to remember some of the things that goes into with him trying to be a writer and how he has to notice other people's things. And was it with the dancer? Um, this is going back a year or so, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But he has this he makes this friendship with this dancer that he has to interact with because of the author he was being mentored by, and he has to kind of get into her headspace to understand how she thinks in order to write about her.
All right, because he's going around, he was writing a bunch of like anthologies, I guess, of other people's lives. Something like that, right?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I think again the anime it does not do a good job of showing his character. Never mind. I mean,
It doesn't go
you
even
know,
that far.
it doesn't. But even if it did, it's so bare bones. I mean, another character who's important in the manga who gets like 5 minutes of screen time in the anime, Ashihara. Yeah, there's nothing about her. She's just innocent in the anime, whereas in the manga, this is the club president, if anyone's wondering. But she's just well, I mean, she's in love with Kiria, and it's always going to be unrequited because Kiria isn't a degenerate.
Yeah.
I'm calling you out, Hina. You're a bad person.
He, Hina is a bad person, though.
She really is.
She is a bad person.
She's terrible. All right, are we gonna say it? Hina.
There's been so we probably should have put a spoiler at the beginning, but
Oh, come on! Both of these. When did Citrus end? Citrus ended in 2019, and Domestic Girlfriend ended in 2020. Okay, that's pretty recent. But
it's
I mean,
relatively.
it's been a
But
few years.
yeah, and if you're watching this, you probably are interested in Citrus and
Yeah.
Domcom. I'd imagine they've finished it already. But anyways, spoilers. Then probably have to put a spoiler tag somewhere.
So yeah,
What does Hina do?
crimes. That's what Hina does. She does a lot of crimes. Um, if not crimes in the jurisdiction of Japan, then definitely crimes against ethics. Hina gets into a relationship with one of her students. Now, if who's also her stepbrother, but I think honestly that's less important than anything else.
In the
Um,
ethics part that you're mentioning, yeah, that is probably
yeah,
is that less important? Yeah, yeah, that would be less important in this
I think so.
context.
I think so.
We can go into that
We
side later.
probably will. Yeah. That's probably where I get cancelled. But yeah. So I don't know if this needs to be said, but if you're teaching, you do not get into relationships with students. That is that is not good. And that's what she does. And it's kind of uncomfortable, to be honest with you. Um, I mean, well, I think it was under episode 11 where I just start yelling in my note. Yeah. I say, no, Nutthrow, don't you fucking dare put a ring on her finger. Watching the fireworks together, they're gonna fuck. Then I say, editorializing a little bit in my notes, this is a horrible idea. Then Hina at least knows this can't last, to which I say, don't do it then, you dumb fucking idiot. And yeah, don't do that. That is not a good idea. And yeah, so I think and I don't I can't get into the mangaka's head obviously, but it is a little bit uncomfortable that Hina's played as such a sympathetic character when she's, kind of a predator.
A lot of times you want to ignore that. I guess predators have a, dare I say, heart and
Yeah.
feelings. And like, if we really look at it in this context, I guess Hina really is just a predator, and it shows
Yeah.
like the inside feelings.
I mean, I think what it really shows is that she's just a dumb kid who hasn't matured.
Oh yeah, well, that too, that for sure.
I mean, how old is she supposed to be in this? Like 21, 22?
She, I believe she just graduated from university, so probably around that, right? And then she's doing her teaching license, or like very early in her teaching career.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be I'd imagine around 22, 23. I'm not sure if they say it in they stated in
Oh,
the manga. But yeah,
23.
23. Yeah,
Yeah.
seems about right.
So, and I mean,
then
I think
high school, like 6 years on the lower side, maybe.
yeah.
Lower.
I mean, I think.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So, I mean, I think I can't speak for you, but I mean, we are in similar friend groups. I think we both probably know people who are at about that age. still weren't over high school and were still kind of in that high school mentality, and you can sort of see why they wouldn't see that as a problem, but you kind of have to know that it is. And when you act on that, it's kind of very not good.
With the way this is Dom Kano is written, it kind of like takes away from that part of. I think, like, I nearly missed the part that Hina is just a predator. Like, there's just so many other things happening
Oh, it's
that it takes away. Like, stepbrother, teacher-student relationship. Like, you don't even register that the teacher-student relationship is an underage one. Like, I did not even register that for the longest time, and was just like, okay, there's two forbidden loves, but that's really yikes.
I mean, I think that is part of the point of the story, right? It's just being wild for the sake of being wild.
It for sure is.
But yeah, it's just...
Yeah.
Oh, no, go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was just looking at your notes here. What is this part about? What is this part under episode 11 after your screaming notes? Jerk off conversation.
Oh, you remember you remember when Natsuo walks in on her just kind of having a bit of fun? And talk and saying Shu's name while doing it. Yeah, they were talking about that. That was all that was about.
Okay, I see.
There wasn't anything insightful there. I just thought it was funny, so I pointed it out.
Okay.
Yeah. There wasn't, I didn't have any insight.
I get it.
Whatever.
I get it. Yeah. That just stood out.
I mean, I can see why, but yeah.
You know what else stood out, right? Going back to Citrus, Yuzu's mom is a MILF. She is. Her character is so funny, so good too.
Oh, I know,
mom,
right?
That is.
She's so nice.
So nice. Just does everything. Yeah. So accepting of everything.
Yeah.
And on that topic, let's get into a little more about Citrus then.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Where do you want to start?
You start episode 1, comparing how, like I mentioned that Dom Kano starts off with like banging, like literally. And you're like, okay, this is yikes. You can't watch this with anyone around.
No, or everyone around, depending on how brave you are.
Depends. Maybe it's just a good Friday night with the boys and you just want to watch some anime.
All I'm saying is hentai dubs with the boys is a good time. And I am speaking from absolute experience.
Sure. And with
I am. That's true.
And with Citrus, you get like I guess what you say here, a cold opening. What do you mean by cold opening?
Oh, basically it just opens on a scene that's basically in the middle of a scene. It opens on Yuzu and her friends in the middle of a conversation.
Okay. I thought you meant cold opening like Dom Kano went in hot.
I mean, you could also make that comparison if you wanted, but that wasn't what I was going for. If anything, I'd almost say that, or I wouldn't almost, I would say that Dom Kano also has a cold opening. Because, in medias res is what we call it, in the middle of. It's, you start the story in the middle of the action, or in this case, it's a slice of life. Someone's life, I'm sure.
It was in the middle of action.
It's in the middle of the conversation, which is, the most action you're ever going to get out of one of these shows. Or at least out of a slice of life. Maybe not out of Dom Kano. There's quite a bit of action that you get in
Dom Kano went straight in the middle of action.
That's for damn sure. But yeah, basically just meant, it opens in the conversation where Yuzu and her friends are talking. One of Yuzu's friends, I think, says, that she just got broken up with, and that's kind of just at the beginning. And Yuzu's talking about guys, and then she's thinking to herself that she's never actually had a boyfriend, and just kind of go from there.
It does go from there, and I think the premise, or at least the introductory of all the scenarios, kind of go very similar to Dom Kano,
Yeah,
where they meet, they do their thing, and then go
yeah,
home, and it's like, boom, guess who's your new stepsister?
yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think one of the big differences, not including, the sex, is that in Dom Kano, it does open very much halfway through. Natsuo's already in love with Hina, um, and he
Hmm.
already has kind of that relationship with her. Whereas in Citrus, we opened with Yuzu not knowing Mei yet.
Is you get to see
If that,
more of the building of the relationship more with Citrus.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Uh, yeah, no, sorry, yes. I think we see kind of that building of the relationship. We see how they very much clash as personalities, whereas in Dom Kano, we kind of see Hina and Natsuo getting along well before they even realize that they're going to be step siblings,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
especially in flashbacks and whatnot. In this, we basically kind of immediately see that there's a clash of ideals, a clash of identity, a clash of personality, and how are they going to reconcile that?
Yeah, we can see a very large contrast between Yuzu's character and Mei's character with how they
Yeah, I mean,
dress, their personalities, their approach to school. Heck, was tonguing that hot teacher before like Yuzu got to kiss anybody.
that's damn true. And I think that also, I don't see you highlighting the notes, and I love it. Yeah, but yeah, it's like, but it also shows that they've got different personalities underneath, and how those different personalities also clash, but how they're almost the opposite. Again, on the outside, Yuzu being this kind of happy-go-lucky, playgirl Gyaru character, while Mei's a very uptight, conservative uh, student. But we see just from in the first episode, Yuzu lamenting to herself that she's always been tragically single, while when Mei doesn't, or when no one's around, Mei is, tonguing the hot boy teacher. And there's these contrasting personalities that almost make it seem like the true selves are what the other appears to be.
Damn, that was deep.
I am an English student.
Damn.
I've been thinking a lot about this, okay?
You have you have. I just have screenshots of Citrus as I was reading.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Let's
Is
see.
there anything that jumps out?
Oh my gosh, so much. There's literally this
You'll love to
one
read it.
this one scene, when they're just walking down the street together. I don't even know when this was. Was this is probably very early. I think they were running an errand together.
Okay.
Yuzu just keeps looking back at Mei and just says, "But I really like her. I want to kiss her. Mei,
Yeah.
could we hold hands?" And she's so flustered. That was the
Hey,
first
wait,
screenshot. And
who's so
Mei.
flustered? May? Oh,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
not Mei. Yuzu's so flustered.
Oh, you yeah, yeah,
Mei
yeah.
just has her same like blank face, just staring. But that was like the first screenshot I took, I think, of the series. And then it just gets more and more wild.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
this is the next one I took immediately. I'm not sure if this is in the same chapter or later on, but they're in the SkyTrain or the subway.
yeah.
You remember this?
Oh yeah, was it when they were going to see Yuzu's dad's grave?
I think so.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
just straight in the middle of the subway, Yuzu just started licking May.
Oh yeah, all I said was the classic tramps Japanese metro trope. May getting a little bit too excited being that close to Yuzu, and just some wholesome public foreplay. Yeah,
Yeah, this whole scene was so like representative of just the Japanese metro system.
yeah.
The stereotypical subway molestation. It was just this panel.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, the thing that I got from again, I reread Citrus more recently than Dom Cado, but
Hmm.
the thing that I really kind of got from it was I don't think Yuzu herself is a particularly weird character. I think she's just a dumb, horny teenager.
I think I agree, and that's something that they've mentioned in the series too, right? Where most all those girls have a betrothal.
But yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, somebody that they are should be married to after they graduate, and but during high school period, they just want to live a normal high school life and find love.
Yeah,
So it really is just their hormones talking.
yeah. I mean, I think that's something all of us have experienced from time to time, especially in high school. Um, it's a rough time.
Yeah, high school is a rough time for sure.
Um, but yeah, I think well because I can't remember when I took the notes, but there's a few times when Yuzu describes herself as being messed up, weird, and she's so confused about herself. And from the outside looking in, you can just kind of tell you're not messed up, kid. You're not weird. You're just, going through puberty and feeling things you haven't felt before. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I
I
don't know.
think part of that confusion per se that Yuzu has is because all her past friends were straight, I guess you could say,
Yep,
and were interested in males, where Yuzu here is interested in a female, and not just any female, her stepsister.
yeah, absolutely. And that's got to be hard. That's
And
got
you
to be
know
really
what? I
difficult.
think you know one thing, I gotta respect her for realizing that is weird.
It is kind of, yeah, it's kind of weird, I guess. I feel like the whole problem is that they were roped into becoming step siblings, outside of their control. Really, let's be honest
Oh,
about
for
this.
sure.
They didn't, and they're trying
Same
to
thing for
do.
Dom Kano.
Yeah, I mean, this can apply for both, notwithstanding, Hina. Um,
Yeah, except for the
but,
whole Hina being a pedophile situation. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um,
But we can ignore that.
yeah, notwithstanding that, we're just talking about Rui right now. They get roped into being step siblings when they didn't sign up for that. They didn't even know beforehand. Like like Natsuo and Rui fucked before they were even step siblings, and you know. Yeah, so I can understand the confusion of being in love with someone and then for reasons completely outside of your control it's suddenly forbidden for very arbitrary reasoning.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think I think that makes it kind of difficult. I mean, again, it's also doubly difficult for Yuzu by being gay. That makes it even worse.
I think that was like the main part of her whole confusion,
yeah,
because when they were talking about, like, she went back to her old town, right? And then just discussed about
yes, I'd
when
forgotten
they,
about that.
yeah, when they met. That was like, this is why that brought up the whole confusion part for me, was when they were
Okay, yeah,
talking with their friends, with her friends, and then her friends were all talking about how, is there a hot guy at your new school and all that. And I think that just doubled down on her thinking that she's weird.
yeah, and I mean,
She broke
I
down
think that's
crying. Like, oh my god.
yeah, I mean, I think that's perfectly understandable. In even in the most what's the word I'm looking for? Even in the most accepting societies in the world,
Mhm.
especially when you're a teenager and you want to fit in and be cool or whatever, and you realize you're different, that's difficult, I think.
And that is exactly what Yuzu is, right? You just
Different,
wanted,
yeah.
you
Oh,
can
sorry.
completely tell from her character, right? She's just I want to fit in, get along with everyone, and be accepted.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't want to rock the boat per se. I mean, she sticks up for herself, like when the school doesn't want her to wear her own clothing or whatever. But
Yeah, and her
like
dyed
for the most,
hair.
yeah. But for the most part, she's a very conciliatory person. Who I don't have much to say about her, but one character I do want to talk about at some point is Harumi.
Harumi's the her best friend, right?
Yeah, she's a friend. Yeah.
I don't know if you have the same take, but I love that character.
Oh, she's so good.
I
She's so
love that
fucking good.
character.
I love her that her entire thing is just that she's normal.
Yeah.
She's just like a normal teenager.
Oh,
She
I
just
love that character.
she's so good.
She was introduced as, I guess, the same, like similar to Yuzu at the start, though. Like, you don't really get.
Yeah.
But then I guess, like, as more of the story progressed, she comes out more and more normal.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not to say the Yuzu isn't normal, because I think she is, for the most part, pretty fucking normal, especially compared to the cast of characters that surround her. But, Harumi she just wants to wear pretty clothes
She is such a vibe.
and just be chill and hang out and have a good time with her friends. And yeah, and
She
just
she's definitely
be.
like the most relatable character.
Oh, she's so relatable.
She is an absolute vibe.
Every time I read that or watch that or whatever, and she's on the screen, I'm like, yep, that is exactly what I would do, including wearing the pretty clothes,
Especially that
especially that.
part.
Yeah,
Especially that
yeah,
part. I really
goes
have
without
no
saying.
screenshots of Harumi parts. Probably literally just because she is just normal.
Yeah, she's just out there. I love how she just her relationship with Matsuri is pretty funny as well.
I don't know your take, but I also really like Matsuri.
Yeah, she's pretty funny. Yeah. I think I wrote down that she's what Yuzu looks like from the outside. This kind of gets what she wants, kind of alphabet's character.
Oh, like if you saw Yuzu,
Yeah, yeah. If you saw her from the outside without knowing who she really is,
you would assume it would be
Matsuri.
Matsuri's
Yeah.
personality. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
No,
I think
she's great as well.
that also stems part that Matsuri really looked up to Yuzu at the start too, right? So the way she dressed, the way she
Oh,
speaks, I guess,
entirely.
is probably like somewhat of her ideal image of Yuzu.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's hard to tell from the manga, but you can, in the anime, you can even see that she even dyed her hair. from when she was a kid, and it's
Mhm.
probably because Yuzu has dyed hair, I'd imagine.
I'd imagine that there's an influence to that on Yuzu's side.
Yeah, so yeah, I think she is what Yuzu, or what she has molded herself to be, what she thinks Yuzu is.
I think at the start, I was like very whatever to her character. Like she's kind of there
Yeah,
interfering, I guess. But I think as the series went, I started liking her more and more. And she started like being like the very teasing, playful character with
yeah,
Mei and Yuzu.
yeah, and I mean, because she clashes so well with Yuzu, like with
Yeah.
the whole joke about the threesome,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and how that has Yuzu absolutely shitting herself.
Yeah.
What, like it's great. It's just so well done.
Yeah, it's definitely really good. Her character meshes so well with those three, her jokes, and the way she just tries to set them up and gets
Yeah,
genuinely upset about their any interference in their relationship.
but she still can't bring herself to admit that she cares. You know, oh god, I'm gonna use a tropey word, but she's a tsundere. She's not a complete tsundere. We've been on Citrus for a while. Should we jump back to Dom Kano, do you think?
We can. I think we've been on Citrus. That's the most recent that I read, so it's the most clear in
Yeah.
my head. But yes, let's jump back to Dom Kano.
What do I want to talk about Dom Kano? I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about. The
Well,
problem is,
have you seen this about Dom Kano's writing quality?
I think I have actually,
Well, what is your take?
yeah.
What's your take on it?
What was chapter 215? What happened in chapter 215? Let me check. I feel like I probably agree, but I want to double check. That's when Rui breaks up with Natsuo. Oh, I think this was with Do you remember the actress? The actress girl who fell in love with Natsuo?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that was with the whole drama with her and Natsuo and Rui. I think that was what happened.
Oh, interesting. Okay, what do you think though? Do you think that
Um,
this depiction is accurate then?
I don't.
Quality
I
writing up until 215.
I'll be honest with you. I think with Dom Kano, like it was goofy basically all the way through. I don't think I would say there was a massive drop in quality at that point. I mean, the ending was kind of whack, but like everyone else hated the ending. I kind, in retrospect, I mean, was it really a shock?
What do you mean by
Like,
that?
I
Was it
mean,
really a
because
shock of truck? Like
like,
she's just walking down and the truck randomly just.
but it wasn't random, was it? It's like it was someone who'd been stalking her, wasn't
It
it?
was. It was targeted,
Yeah.
but
And it's like the entire series up to that point had been just over dramatic, fucking strange bullshit after over dramatic, strange bullshit. Like,
I think
I
the
didn't.
uh mangaka is notorious for just adding drama to add drama,
Yeah, I
adding
mean,
drama to extend the series.
I know that we've spoken before about this, but you said about DE good
Yeah,
ending. That's also very dramatic
yeah.
for no good reason.
There is a lot of drama in that.
Yeah, and again, it's like everything leading up to that point, when that happened, I wasn't like, oh my god, what is the mangaka doing or anything. I was just like, oh yeah, this is domestic girlfriends just being a domestic girlfriend. You know, there was nothing shocking to me about it, and it's like, what kind. You know, people always complain about the ending. It's like, what kind of ending were you expecting? Were you expecting everything to be normal? Like,
Yeah,
were
the
you
entire
reading the
series
thing?
wasn't normal already.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, it was a bit goofy, but like, I don't know. I didn't think it was anything that strange, considering what we've been reading for the previous 264 chapters.
I think they were upset about the ending was who won.
Who won? Oh, that Hina won.
Yeah, that Hina won. And on that note, who were you cheering for the whole time?
Rui. No, Ashihara.
Hara?
But Ashihara, yeah. But if we're gonna talk about I mean, it was obviously going to be one of the two, right?
Yeah.
Between Hina and Rui, obviously Rui, like, he had a kid with her. He, was the same age as her. you know.
Yeah, I was also a Rui.
Yeah, it was like, Rui, she's just
He
very
deserved so
endearing.
much.
Yeah. She was
Tried
just very
so
endearing.
hard and everything. Like,
We were
she did so much, and like Hina just didn't do anything, and
I mean,
just
she got hit
kept.
by a truck. She got isekai'd.
Maybe that's just what it is. Maybe she's just in another world.
Yeah, maybe there's another world where she's just dead, and Rui and Natsuo mourn her for a few months, and then end up getting married because they've got a kid anyway.
Those expired condoms. Hina, man, Jesus Christ, bro. And on the note of Hina, bro, remember Hina's like boyfriend, like person that was stalking her?
Oh,
That guy was such a
guy.
creep as well.
He was so creepy.
Oh my god, yeah. I want to bring that up because I was just looking at the character list. Just remember
Yeah,
them.
I should probably check the character list as well. I can't remember his name. I just remember he started off as this kind of gentleman-like character, and then he kept on buying her expensive gifts and whatnot, and then he ended up just kind of stalking her, if I remember correctly.
Oh my god, I'm reading the fan page for Kengo Tanabe, which is the creep that was sending gifts to Hina, and one of the users commented, "Hopefully he causes Rui to have a miscarriage so that Natsuo and Hina can end up together."
Oh boy,
Wow.
folks, that right there is why manga fans are bad. I just want to say that this podcast does not support that comment in any way. That's fucked up.
That is absolutely fucked up. And you know what's even more fucked up is that Natsuo and Hina end up together anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, my god, imagine typing that out. Imagine just being there, seeing something, and typing that out. Like, how do you sleep at night?
They don't.
True.
That's how they're able to write stuff like this.
That is genuinely offensive. And I'm actually disturbed about the people who read this shit. So go on.
Alright, so I went on to Haruka's page, which is Natsuo's child, right? And one of the comments is just, imagine if the teacher asked to make a family tree.
That's spicy. That is ooh, that is a spicy sausage. That is straight chorizo right there. My god.
Wait, the Dom Kano wiki page. We're probably gonna go down a rabbit hole of the Dom Kano wiki page now. But
I'm fucking down.
oh my, this is amazing. So after that, there's another comment that says Natsuo is such a disgusting man. But then there's just comments replying to it. He is a legend, one of a kind.
Oh, you love to see it.
Yeah, you love to see it. But you know what I love to see even more so?
Oh
And I
God,
quote,
do you want to send it to me and I can
amount
read it?
of dumbass people are here. Natsuo and Rui are not blood related. There is nothing to panic the fuck out.
You know, let me spin a hypothetical for you.
Okay.
Let's say you meet a nice young lady or a nice young gentleman, and you get married, and then
Okay.
yeah. And then later on, one of your parents meets one of their parents, and they decide, I like you a lot. Let's get married, and they get married. Suddenly, you're married to your step brother or sister. Is that fucked up? Not really. That's my argument. Now, if you and the person who you're married to had been raised together, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I think it
But
always comes down to how long
don't,
you've known them as you're
yeah,
considered as your sister, right? Or as your brother.
yeah, yeah. It's like if you're 16, 17, 18, like you're almost an adult at that point. You know, that's different. If you're a little kid, that's fucked up.
I don't know if you've read or watched Attack on Titan. Do you know
I
anything about it?
haven't.
So like,
I I know very little. I've been told by people to watch it or read it, but I haven't myself.
oh, we're not talking about the context of it being good or bad here. We're definitely going to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about the fact that uh the main character Aaron and his adopted sister Mikasa, I think in the series it's always been like Mikasa likes Aaron, but they grew up together. So it's like it's no chromo, but because they've been together for so long,
That's fucked up.
like it's not okay then, right? In that
Yeah,
case,
that's not
it's not
okay.
okay because they are basically just siblings.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
Now, if there's anybody out there that is an Aaron X Mikasa fan, I'm sorry, but leave your argument down in the comments.
I'm not sorry. That's fucked up.
I could have the details wrong too, but from my understanding,
Well,
that's what it is.
I mean, if you've got the details wrong, then that's
It's
possibly
something
not
else.
fucked up. But
It's possibly not, but they did know each other from kids.
that's why I'm not a huge fan of the whole childhood friends trope.
Do you think it's fucked up?
I don't think it's fucked up, but I think it depends, right? It could be a little bit creepy.
What if they were childhood friends and then their parents got remarried together further down the line?
Um,
Is that now, you see, they were never officially siblings from when they were childhood, but they've known each other since they were childhood and then became siblings later down the line.
yeah, I think that's kind of fucked up.
You think that's fucked up?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it depends, right? Like, if you were friends with someone as a little kid and then, like, you fell out of contact and then you meet them later, that's probably okay. But if you've always been, like, if you, like, grew up with someone, that's fucked up.
So you think if you were like elementary school sweethearts and you shared a little kissy kiss on the cheeks and then you had to move because your dad had work in a different country, but then years later, right, your dad comes back to the hometown country with you and gets remarried with that person's mother, I guess, and then you become siblings, but then you still have feelings for each other, that's okay? or your feelings rekindled when you like got to meet each other
By
again. You did
by
like
my
maybe
logic,
did like step sibling activities like
how old are we talking when when they get remarried?
let's go with the classic high school.
16, 17?
Sure.
By my own logic, I guess I have to say yes.
That's okay. But if they were
I
like elementary school and like kind of vibing with each other,
I mean, elementary school kids don't vibe with each other. They're fucking stupid.
what
But
if they like
yeah, okay.
exchanged? What if they like just exchanged cooties, right? And then
Yeah. I mean, that means nothing. But yeah,
they
okay.
were like, but they were like always like kind of neighbors, and then they're pretty close, childhood friends, right? And then in high school, they're like, wait, I actually have feelings for this person.
Think that's a little bit strange. Maybe I don't know.
Like even if they were just only childhood friends.
I don't know. It feels a little bit weird to me. Like, I don't know. I've got childhood friends, and it's like that feels a bit weird to me. Maybe I'm the weird one. I don't know. We're getting so fucking cancelled for this.
So childhood friends going out in the future is like not that good.
I guess. I don't know. I suppose it depends on the context.
Even if like so of course then with that logic, if they were childhood friends that shared cooties and then in high school they like each other and then the dad surprises, by the way, I'm remarrying, and then now they're step siblings. That is like a no-go for you. Like that is not good at
I
all.
think. I think so.
That
Yeah.
is where you definitely draw the line.
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Are you psychoanalyzing me right now?
No. I just want to know the line.
You know, when you get into human kind of psychology and whatnot, there's going to be some wiggle room and some kind of distinctions and whatnot. I don't think there's anything wrong with that per se. I'm not sure how I feel about it in fiction, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the person who's feeling those feelings at all. I think that's perfectly natural. Um, I think it depends on how the kind of relationship you had with the person at the time.
Now
I guess
you're really covering your bases.
I've said multiple times that I should be a lawyer. I don't want to be because that's way too much school, but like I should be.
Really covering your bases to stay safe.
Is it staying safe or is it accepting that there are going to be edge cases that I'm gonna see and be like, oh, I'm not sure, because I've probably come down a little bit too hard on this. And then I accept that there's nuance and there's weird situations and whatnot, and I'm not gonna say that that's wrong. Um, I think it depends,
Yeah,
and
love is love.
love is love.
As
True.
we've already seen with Dom Kano and Citrus, love prevails.
True. Anyway, is there anything else you want to talk about these two series? Since we got distracted on a thing about my
Oh my
my
god.
takes.
Okay, anyways, back to Citrus, right? Because that's just what like lives rent free in my head and is the most recently read stuff. Hold on,
Mm.
let me get this picture right. Where's this screenshot?
I love how we just had insane real talk and then we're just back to citrus.
Was that real talk?
I don't know, man.
Okay, this was, I found the picture, right? So this is for context, right? This is after the whole student election thing.
Oh,
And
right, yeah.
they're sitting in the chairman's office together, discussing stuff, stamping a little student card or booklet and stuff. And then they go in for a kiss. And then May's like, hold up. Gets up. Yuzu looks over. He's like, you can't just blue ball me like that. What the heck? He walks over and flips down a picture of, I think it's the grandfather of her
Yeah.
grandfather. Like it was either like
Yeah.
a family picture or something. Flips that down and then turns around and then starts making it making it with Yuzu. Like I could not take that so seriously because like that picture, that whole scene is like the typical, like the wife is cheating on the husband or other way around, and then she gets up, walks over to like the dresser, and just flips over the family picture, and then walks back to the bed and continues.
Yeah. I actually have a note from this film. Do you remember the scene when May's grandfather walks in on them kind of making out?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
not necessarily making up, but just before, right? Like they were pushed over.
Yeah. I took the note, Gramps has no respect for Yuri, and then the sub note blames Yuzu for the deviancy, even though May is clearly on top. So I think it's
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, I think it's pretty implied that Gramps doesn't take a particularly liberal view on same-sex relations that we do here at the Degen Book Club. Or at least I do. I can't speak for you, but I take a very liberal view on same-sex relations, and yeah, I think I think it's supposed to imply that she knows that her grandpa would not be down with some go action, so she puts the picture down so she doesn't. Also, he doesn't see the debauchery, shall we
Mhm.
say. I was going to say, I can understand why May would be self-conscious, I suppose, about the relationship. We don't get much from her perspective, right? And
No, not at all. Not at all.
basically not at all, right? And
Yeah.
but she's got to deal with this, kind of conservative family she wants to be the heir to,
Mhm.
and she's betrothed to this guy who turns out to be a decent guy, but she's betrothed. Uh, so that's how um, conservative this family is, and
Mhm.
yet she's in love with another girl, and that's she's got to consider those kind of things if she wants to take over the academy,
Yeah.
and I suppose I can't remember exactly when this was, but she wants to, she wants to be in love with Yuzu. She wants to kiss her and all that kind of good stuff. And she has to consider her family at the same time. And she knows that at least her grandfather, who she looks up to, and is the person who she's going to be inheriting the academy from, is going to be disapproving of the person she loves. So she kind of wants to forget about it. I think that's kind of what that scene is trying to say.
Wow, that was a very deep analysis of that scene that I just thought was a hee funny thing.
I'm also pretty deep into this bottle of wine, so, take that how you will. Let's see. We should probably talk about the ending of Citrus, since we spent so long debating the ending of Domkana.
Yes, that was one thing that was on my mind too.
Yeah, so
Don't you think Citrus? Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I wanted to point out that Citrus had a sequel series, Citrus Plus,
Have you read
which
it?
I have not read it. I'm waiting for it to be finished.
Is it still like ongoing, or is
Yeah, it's still ongoing, I think.
okay?
Either way, Citrus does have a sequel series, which brings it a little bit more in line with Domkano as far as length goes. I think the ending of at least Citrus, the original manga, was pretty simple. It was quick. It was a little bit too quick, I think. I think they could have done with dragging it out a little bit more, which is normally a criticism. But I think I don't know. Both times I read it, it was a little bit too just ending.
I think on that note of it being too quick, I think I did message you like one of my criticisms of Citrus is the pacing was freaking wild.
Oh, the pacing is
The pacing
so
is
bad.
crazy. What was I? I was 6 chapters in, and what happened? Like May gets tongued. They've kissed like 3 times. They the teacher that May was going out with and tonguing got fired. Uh, Yuzu got expelled. But they slept together again. Like this all happened in like 4 chapters. Like it was crazy how quick that went by.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the entire series is just so quick, and I don't really know what to make of it. I like Yuzu a lot as a character, and I think she's fucking great. But I feel bad for her going through all of that so much, so quickly. Like, how do you do that? Um, and then coming to the ending, she's been through what, 3 different breakups with May, probably, give or take,
Yeah.
or things that she thinks are breakups, and like she's just kind of stuck there, and eventually she finds out, oh, May is betrothed. Okay, I guess I'll break into her house and propose to her. And I suppose, thank God that that May's betrothal is a friend of mine, I guess? I don't know.
One comment I had about the ending too, aside from it being that quick, was how idealistic it was.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
sure, I'm
go
okay.
on.
Like the whole her coming out thing, like sure, that's great. But like the fact that everyone was so quick understanding and like the mom was just like, yeah, that's love. Calls the dad. Yeah, that's love. Do what you have to do. I'll help you. Like it's great that her parents were just so accepting and that all her friends were so accepting, but it just feels like it was just such an idealistic situation met with virtually zero resistance throughout the whole series.
See, I'm not sure if I actually agree with that.
Oh yeah?
I'm someone who likes reading statistics and polling data and whatnot, and I know that in Japan that young people under, I think it's 39, I think. Bear with me. Are very supportive of LGBTQ relationships,
Mm,
and yeah. And her mom is clearly quite young. Probably late 30s, I'd imagine. I'm not sure. Um, so I'm not massively shocked that her mom is supportive. Maybe that it's her stepsister that's a little bit weird,
I think
obviously,
it
and
was
we've had that conversation.
yeah, it was
So go on.
definitely, to me, it was the tacked on fact that there's like, yeah, I'm okay with you and stepsister situation too with the parents, and I guess with
Yeah,
everyone. Like LGBT is one thing, but doubling down with the no chromo is
yep.
another, right?
No, that's a good point. That's a very good point. It's a very big contrast with Dom Cano, right?
Yeah,
With the stepmother being so
the stepmother like freaked out, right? I think
yeah, it's like
she like ran.
yeah,
She
she
ran
was
for the
not having a good
hills.
time of it. She was not having a good time of it. But
She went on a spa day.
I don't know. It feels like both are kind of very radical, very extreme kind of positions to take.
Yeah. I mean, I think like I wasn't expecting like a whole like uphill fight, right? But like there were with the parents not even like questioning it, I guess is like not even like a are you sure about that
Yeah, no,
kind of
that's a
situation,
fair
right? It
point.
was a very
Uh,
like no resistance idealistic conclusion.
yeah, and I was gonna say that I don't know if the author, and this is God knows this is never gonna happen, but if the author does listen to this and is a oh thank you. Yeah, I was on that page. If the author is listening to this and if she is a lesbian, if she's a she, um I don't know if this is what the author would want for a lesbian couple. Like if this is something that if she is a she would want. No. I'm saying that seriously.
What do you mean by I'm letting you cook? But like, what do you can you elaborate some more?
yeah, for sure. If you're gay, you're probably in a society that doesn't really like you for being who you are,
It has
and
traditionally been shunned against, right?
yeah,
So,
absolutely. Um, and but yeah, if you're gay, you're probably in a society that doesn't really accept you for who you are. Let's be real about this.
mhm.
Um, you're you might want a world where coming out is just like, oh yeah, that's who you are and whatnot, and it's nothing
Oh,
really.
I see what you mean. You're
If you
getting at.
yeah. And I don't know. Again, I don't speak Japanese. Can translate the bio, but it won't translate for me. I don't know if the author is a lesbian or gay or whatever, but I can understand wanting to write a ending or whatever where your characters get the ending where you may not, or the ending you might have wanted to your love or whatever. I can understand that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, like writing a story in itself is creating a world where of your ideals, in a sense, can be one of them.
Absolutely.
So if
Yeah.
it's that kind of projection, I see where you're trying to get at.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I suppose what I'm trying to get at is life is. What am I trying to say?
Life's hard. Love is love.
Life is hard. Love is love, but a lot of people will not love or accept the love of other people around them because it's not the way they envision it. And the ending of Citrus being so easy could be a way of the author potentially, I don't know, potentially to get the ending that they may have wanted, I guess.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
see what you
That's
mean.
complete speculation. But aside from that, I think it's very cute, right? Like
It
these
is a very
two,
cute ending.
yeah, it's an adorable ending. And it's like these two have gone through hell and back for each other, and you know they do love each other, I think. And that's very sweet, and they should have this kind of relationship, I think.
I think we've covered what comes to mind.
Yeah, I think we've gone through a lot of shit tonight about what comes to mind about these mangas and whatnot.
All right. What is your rating?
My rating.
Your rating of Citrus, your rating of Dom Kano.
Both of them get a 7 out of 10, baby.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I think it's a very 7 out of 10.
Even though they're both 7 out of 10, which one did you prefer?
Oh my god. I might have preferred Dom Kano. I think Dom Kano had a slight edge in its pacing, especially. And I think even if like it was just a bunch of drama to be drama, that definitely keeps you hooked.
You know, Dom Kano is fucking hell. It is a very you really have to feel what the characters are feeling. It makes you feel what the characters are feeling. And my god, they are feeling so much drama. Jesus Christ. Yeah. No, I think I agree with you. I think Dom Kano is the better of the two series by a hair's breadth. I think the 300 chapters versus the 40 chapters really does set it apart. But
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Even like the
Um,
40 chapters, I think that could definitely have been extended to like 60, 80, like if they improved the pacing at the beginning.
oh, absolutely. The pacing at the beginning, especially, is terrible in Citrus. My God,
I think it
why
does
is it?
kind of improve though, but
No, it
as in
definitely
just
improves.
there's not as much like chaos, I guess, as well. Maybe it was a way
Yeah.
of like cooking readers, of just
No,
throwing
gone.
stuff at readers, you know what I mean? Like high octane
No,
shit.
I understand that. You know, you've got to grab your readers somehow, and like in the Yuri genre, which we're gonna get to at some point on the DGen book club, I promise you, gamers. Like you need to stand out somehow, right? Because
Mhm.
it's a genre that is kind of shit, very shit, completely
But
shit.
gonna get you canceled.
Hey, I am very down with the gays. Okay, not getting cancelled on that. Um, yeah, like I feel like it goes so quickly because it wants to wrap the reader in like that, like really quickly.
Yeah.
But I feel like Dom Kano, it kind of it's not quite as quick as Citrus, but it keeps that pace for so long, so goddamn long. It's impressive. I'm impressed when I read that manga. It's how do you keep going that hard for that long? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Damn.
Yeah, no, Don Kano is a great manga, and yeah, I think it probably is the better of the two, just for the simple fact that it just keeps going. It doesn't stop. Oh, you're tired? You want to slow down for a bit? No, fuck you. The characters, they're gonna fucking goddamn, where was it they fucked? In a goddamn hot springs or whatever. Like they're just going. It doesn't matter what you think, the reader. No, we're going hard. And you know what? I respect that. You know, Citrus is a great read, but after the beginning, it kind of slows down, and you know, it's kind of weirdly paced.
It
Dom
is very
Kano,
weirdly placed. I'm pretty sure there is points in both the series that I've cried, come very close to crying, shedding a tear, a
oh
single
yeah,
tear. Absolute,
absolutely.
absolute beautiful works of arts, though. Both of them. I love them.
Do I need to bring up the pinned thing on what I sent to you after I finished Dom Kano? I laughed, I cried, I learned so much about life and myself. Domestic Girlfriend is one of the greatest pieces of literature I've ever read. A story of love and scandal, tragedy and hope, following your dreams and anime titties. Truly a work of majestic proportion. 7 out of 10.
And 7 out of 10 is indeed absolute work of art.
God fucking bless. You know, I've read 10 out of 10s that haven't brought me to as many tears as Dom Kano or Citrus. Go ahead.
This was our pilot episode, brought to you by Deferred and Dr. Sage.
Absolutely.
If there's anything you'd
I,
like us to read for future episodes, please leave a comment.
and subscribe.
And subscribe, like. What are there
Leave a
stuff that
comment.
people? Yeah, leave a comment again, and share it with your other degenerate friends.
God bless.
God bless. Bye bye.
Bye bye.